Hello everyone, welcome back to the Game Room. This is Michael, and as promised, here we have Streets of Rage 4. I'm going to be telling you a little bit about this game and what makes it so fantastic. I know there are other reviews of this game elsewhere on YouTube, but I like to sort of go in depth. But anyway, let's have a look at Streets of Rage 4. And also, there's a little bit of news now. Finally, we have a release date for the downloadable content. It's coming out on the 15th of July, so not very long to wait now, where we can have 3 extra characters, a few extra moves, and a few extra modes. So can't wait for that. Anyway, first of all, I'm going to go straight into what makes Streets of Rage 4 so great. Now, I've played it very extensively, so you can unlock all sorts of different things. First of all, things like stage select, arcade mode, boss rush, and a battle, which is more like a one-on-one duel or a battle royale with your friends. You've got different things like fighting tips, you've got extras to look at, which is really like concept art, which I'm not too fussed about, but I found this one rather interesting. There were a lot of different early designs of different enemies that didn't even make the cut, or that were sort of altered drastically from how they were first conceived. They look rather different. Anyway, we're going to go straight into story mode. Now, once you fulfill certain criteria, you can unlock different characters. Now, the first ones you start with are Axel Stone, who's from the previous Streets of Rage games, Blaze also, and you have Cherry. She's one of the newcomers. She's the daughter of the famous Adam Hunter from Streets of Rage 1. Floyd is kind of a cross between Dr. Zan and Max from Streets of Rage 2. Dr. Zan is from Streets of Rage 3. And you can also control Adam in this one. Now, Adam you unlock sort of when you're a quarter of the way through the game. He's part of the story. He sort of comes down and saves his friends from a certain attack from a certain nasty person. I won't spoil too much for you. But then you can choose to control him from then on. And you can also unlock... now, this is a lot of fun. As you can see, you can unlock all of the previous original Pixel characters from their original games. This is Axel from Streets of Rage 1, released back in the early 90s. Look at that. He looks very different there, doesn't he? Then you've got Adam from the same game, and Blaze. Then Streets of Rage 2 sees Skate, who is Adam Hunter's younger brother. Then you've got Blaze again, Axel's incarnation from Streets of Rage 2. And good old Max, the wrestler. Over to the other side, you have Streets of Rage 3 Axel. And there's Blaze here, Dr. Zan, who replaced Max. Skate again. And Shiva. Now, Shiva was a boss. There was a cheat to unlock him in Streets of Rage 3. And you can actually play as him in his original Streets of Rage 3 incarnation in Streets of Rage 4. Anyway, we're going to go straight into the game now. And we're going to show you why this is so brilliant. Incidentally, Shiva is one of the extra characters you can play as when the downloadable content comes out on the 15th of July. There is a backstory. For those of you who are Streets of Rage fans like myself, you'll know exactly what's happened before, so we can skip this bit and jump straight into the action. Now, first of all, the team that worked alongside Sega to actually bring this game onto our screens have done an admirable job, because this plays like a cross between Streets of Rage 2 and Streets of Rage 3. Now, the first thing that you notice, the graphics are incredible. It looks like a cartoon. And the detail, the attention to detail is actually staggering, because Axel here, if you move him close to that flashing pink tattoo sign, you can see that it reflects on him. So the light sourcing is actually very good. You can see it's reflecting on his trainers. Now we start with the attacks. Now, reflections in puddles are present as well, as you can see. So the original moves and combos are all present and correct, with a few tweaks here and there. Now you can actually chain together basic combos with special moves. So you can do a staggering amount of damage. The music is amazing, as you can undoubtedly hear. Yes, Yuzo Koshiro is here again, the master of beat-em-up background music from previous Streets of Rages. He's back to showcase his talents. See, look, for example, Axel standing in this doorway, and the sign is actually reflecting on him accurately as it flashes, and he's reflected in the puddle beneath him. You can see both puddles there. So, I mean, the attention to detail is incredible. You can pick up weapons, just like before. You can throw them at people, or you can use them against them. The more you use a weapon, it'll eventually break, just like before. Now, of course, the attention to detail extends to the enemies as well, because even they're light sourced and reflected in lights and everything. You just keep discovering little fun pieces of graphical niceties the more you play the game. And the Signal Brothers are my favourite enemies. I was fascinated by their sort of dancing shuffle. When I first played this game, rather Streets of Rage 2, that was the first one I played back in the 90s when I was living in Italy. I ordered Streets of Rage 2 from one of my many gaming magazines that I used to buy. And it was brilliant. I was hooked. And you know what? Just like I mentioned in my previous review, Italian being my first language, before I knew what to call these games in English, I didn't know they were called side-scrolling beat-em-ups. It was a bit of an elaborate way to call them, but I think, yeah, it works. Now it comes naturally. In Italy, we say a hard-hitting scroller. They call it picchiaduro a scorrimento. Sounds colourful, doesn't it? Yeah, a hard-hitting scroller. I quite like that, actually, a hard-hitting scroller. Yeah, we should use that here in England. So as you can see, the combos are incredible. You can really chain them. You can make long combinations and do lots of damage. You dirty sod. Just gave me a backhander. And again. Right. Here, have a lead pipe on your head. Your usual health pickups and point pickups are present and correct. You can also change them so they look like the ones from the original games. So they can look like cakes and roast chickens. For those of you that are fans, you know what I'm talking about. Now, one thing I did like about the Streets of Rage games, which I still do, there is a back attack option. So if somebody comes up behind you while you're fighting someone else, you can do a back fist with Axel and a spinning reverse kick with Blaze, I think, and Adam. Basically, you can attack enemies that creep up behind you with that very cool attack. I think it really works fine. These golden stars that you pick up are a special move, and I'll show you what that does right now. It does a fair amount of damage, and it's best left for bosses, I think, because you can actually collect stars. I think there's one boss that you can approach where if you play it right, you can get 5 of those stars. So you can really use those to help you, because he's a bit of a tricky boss. There is a way to actually beat him easily if you cheese him, but we won't do cheesing here, will we? Now, on the 15th of July, we are going to have some very interesting downloadable content where we'll be playing as one of the boss characters that you fight, and the other two, well, if you haven't read it or heard about it anywhere else, I won't spoil the surprise for you, but there'll be a couple of extra modes of play, and we'll be unlocking some extra moves and techniques for the characters as well. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Oh, get out of it. This guy's like a mini-boss. He's not really a boss. He just looks like it. And there you go. And on to the next level. So what I was saying about the steel pipe, you get to keep it between levels. Unlike Streets of Rage 1 and 2 and 3, if you go to another section of the level within a stage, you lose the pipe, but not here. You get to keep it. So you're going down, we load the next part of the level, and Axel still has the pipe. Now you can also get your enemies to walk into traps, like so. And that does take off quite a bit of energy from them. See what I mean? And there's a really fun stage where you can actually throw them off a moving elevator. Here's another star. Oh, electrocuted myself there. Does happen. But anyway, not to go on too long with this game, because if you haven't played it yet and you like this sort of thing, give it a shot. It's also very well priced. And the usual question, do I recommend it? Oh, bloody hell, yes. With knobs on, with relish. If you like side-scrolling beat-em-ups, the Streets of Rage franchise is the best. And I've always preferred it to Final Fight. I do like Final Fight as well. And I know there are a lot of fanboys out there that will say Final Fight's the best, but nah. Streets of Rage always has boasted a greater variety of moves as well. And it's just generally better. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the review / showcase, and let's look forward to the DLC, 15th of July. Anyway, take care, and ciao ciao.